What's going on, everybody, man? And welcome back to another episode of the official Phenom Comics podcast. And I am with my host, my wife, Gabee O. You know what I'm saying? So we haven't been recording. We haven't actually made any episodes for a while. It's been some stuff going on, man. And honestly, I want to apologize for that. Giving out a schedule. So we're going to do what we can, you know what I'm saying, and make sure that we can provide the podcast to you guys, the new channels consistently as much as we possibly can. I'm not going to put a date on it or anything like that. We just, when it drops, it drops. Like, subscribe to our Phenom Comics YouTube channel. And if you also follow us on any socials like Instagram, Facebook, obviously, we also, for those who also don't know, we are officially on X as well. We also have a fan base, so that's one thing for all of you who wants to be a part of the Phenomverse, know and understand exactly what we are doing. But what this episode we're about to get into is Night Reaper Origins, issue 1 with Phenom Comics. Obviously, I'm the writer and creator of Phenom, of Night Reaper Origins. And then shout out to my to the people who helped me also bring it to life. E.T., Enzo, these guys did their thing, man, for the illustration, also the color. But again, anyway, I don't want to take the floor too long or anything, but say what's up, man.
Hi.
Anyway. But yeah, so what we're going to do today is we're going to actually start talking about the first 5 pages of Night Reaper Origins. For those who have not read it or purchased Night Reaper Origins yet, I advise you to go to www.phenomcomics.com, where you can purchase digital, physical, and on top of that as well, we also have a prequel 10-page short story of Detective Gamble, Price of Justice, that goes back 5 years in the past from Detective Gamble before his move to Cleveland, Ohio. And also it introduces one of the villains that you guys will see more of if you have not purchased Detective Gamble. You will see more of in the near future in Night Reaper and other stories as well, that is the infamous sadistic serial killer himself, the Puppet Man. And I feel like you guys will definitely like the connection between Detective Gamble and Night Reaper Origins. And I just feel like you guys should definitely give that a read. So again, go to our website at phenomcomics.com, and I promise you will not miss anything we got going on. And we are currently working on some new stuff as well. Currently working on our 3rd book. If you have not seen it and you're not following any socials, we are teasing the new Xander Stone, the Bounty Hunter, that is coming from Phenom as well. That is our newest IP that will be dropping sometime this year as well. So definitely be aware of that. So we're going to get right into this whole thing for these 5 pages. All right. So I want to get into the first page of Night Reaper Origins. Well, obviously we have to get to the point where it leads to the phone call that basically sets the tone for Night Reaper Origins. And we want to talk about the character who is Michael Brooks, whose aunt had called to inform him while he was at work of the passing and the attack, if you will, by the HK, aka the Heartless Killers, that involved his mom and his brother. So my question to you, Gabby, is what do you think about that first scene for from the first page?
Um, well, just the way it starts with, a life-changing phone call.
Right.
We've all had life-changing phone calls.
Yes.
So you kind of put yourself in that character's shoes and remember how you felt in those moments.
Right. And while we're also discussing that, well, mind you, the way the episode, the way that even went was, you know, Mike getting a phone call. Now he has to rush here. Now that is a big that's a pit in your stomach once you end up getting something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Getting a phone call like that. And I also want to, address some of the reviews that we well. I actually want to address, one of the pretty much the only negative review that we end up getting for Night Reap Origins, where obviously no names will be said, but the point is, if you read the story, you had one guy that literally had an issue with the fact that he felt that Michael was just straightforward, nothing else, no emotion being shown behind the deaths of his mom or anything like that. He felt that he was just targeted for one thing. It was just rage, and I feel like that's what makes the story good going in, you know. And
Well, I understand, where he was coming from, but at the same time, that's the entire point of the story is this tragedy happened, things kept happening, and it just became too much.
yes,
Now I'm pissed. Now I need to do something about this
mhm,
because this is all happening like a domino effect.
yes,
This is my life.
right,
So of course I'm angry.
right,
Of course I'm going to do something about it.
right. And then obviously going to the second page, obviously the arrival that Mike ended up pulling up to the hospital. He pulled up to his family home along with his wife Maria, and the first person that Mike basically, he sees and basically confronts about the situation was his aunt. And the first thing that came out his mind his mouth was, "Where's my mother?" You know what I mean? And obviously in disbelief and and grieving his aunt, saying she's gone. That would sink a pit in anybody's stomach. No, you already just found out, okay, my house just got shot up got hit by a gang. And now you know what I'm saying, that you finding out your mom had got hit in this whole thing. And you and yourself would think, please let her survive. Please let her still be living. You know, please do not let this be the end of, I don't want no bad news. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. We need more, anything worse than that. And obviously, you know, she couldn't really talk how, what I'm saying, look at it, and then that's when he ended up going to check on his brother Sean. Now, Sean is Michael's younger brother, who was there to hold his mom during her last breath, trying to block her, but obviously he wasn't fast enough to do that. And that can be more hurtful too. And you have to ask yourself too, who's dealing with more grief or guilt in this whole situation? Michael, who's the oldest, who feel like he's already a protector of his family and already holds his heart on his sleeve, or Sean, who actually had to witness and be there and witness his mom die in his arms? What do you think?
I think that Sean definitely has more grief because he was there. He saw everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Mike definitely has more rage.
Right.
because there's so many questions that come to mind when something like that happens.
Right.
It's who's responsible? Why did this happen? You know, what time of day was this? Where did this happen? Front yard, backyard, on the porch? Was she coming home from work? You know what I mean? There's so many questions
Right.
that you have when something like that happens.
Right.
So to be there, you don't have all those questions. All you have is sadness.
Yeah.
So I think he had more grief than Michael.
And also remind you that Sean told him, not Sean, excuse me, his aunt told him that Uncle Tony, their uncle, their mama aunt's brother, was the reason for the hit in the first place, because he couldn't live up to his end of the bargain after setting a deal with the gang in the first place. So in situations like that, can that even be forgiven?
I wouldn't say so. No. If it was me, no, absolutely not.
So there's a situation like that. So the reason why your family home even got attacked in the first place, while your mom is dead, while your sister is dead, is because you decided to run on the plug. You decided to run on the plug. That is a big freaking deal. So obviously Mike and them handled the arrangements and everything for their mom's funeral. And then fast forward a little after, we go into the page 3, which is, Mike working out, things like that. Maria basically trying to comfort him, as a wife should. As somebody who loves someone and everything, the last thing you want to do is see them hurt, because you feel that too. You know what I mean? And that is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? You feel that too. It may not hit you you don't feel the same way that they necessarily feel when it comes down to it, depending on how close you are to that individual, as well. But still, when it does come down to grieving, when you know the person that you love or your mate is grieving, they're mourning the death of a loved one, a close loved one or whatever, it kind of, it spills out to you. You know what I mean? And it's like you want to try to find the right things to say and do, but at the same time, it's like
your head's not in the right place.
And not, yeah.
It's hard to think clearly when you're grieving.
That's true. That's true.
Especially when it's a violent situation. Yes. Where it's like, oh, this person should not have died at this time in that way.
Right. And they were in their home.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were in their home. So this is why, when we talk about these things, why it's important to understand that when I decided to write this scene, when I decided to write these scenes, I wanted it to make sense. I wanted to have more of a realistic touch to it, a more realistic tone, where it's like, okay, this isn't a thing where like a Batman, a Bruce Wayne thing where, you was a kid. Not saying that it can't be traumatizing that you watched both your parents die in front of you, but it got to a point where with Bruce, where it followed him into adulthood. In real life situations, just my opinion is that it shouldn't linger that long. It shouldn't. So to some degree, you kind of like accept it in a way, and you kind of move on from it. You kind of honor your loved ones that's passed on or whatever, and it doesn't really go any further than that. But in his case, it went beyond that. But in Michael's case, going fast forward, where Obviously, Michael was working out. He's working out and everything, and then obviously Maria comes to ask Michael that, just to be sure, just to be okay with it, her friend Brenda called and asked, yo, do you want to come out? I understand everything that's going on, which family and friends do. When you're going through something, you hurt or anything like that, family and friends will try to get you out the house so you can keep your mind off of the negative, right? So it came down to a situation like that where that happened. And obviously, Maria asked Mike to see if it was fine, if it was cool, it was okay and everything. And obviously, I thought about me in that situation. You don't want to hold anyone you love hostage because you're grieving. The only thing you want more than anything, the only thing you want more than anything is for them to be aware and be careful where they are, where they go. And that was what Mike basically said to Maria. And of course, she basically guaranteed him, like she promised him. He said, okay, go ahead on, go out, go chill, go kick it with your friends, whatever. Just watch your back. And her, if you know the backstory of Maria served with Michael in the Black Flag Special Forces as a sniper, a top ranked sniper on top of that, plus a hacker as well. Maria is no slouch when it comes down to dealing with people. And she also is a good hand-to-hand combat fighter as well. So obviously Michael was like, okay, go ahead, do your thing. And Maria was like, oh, don't worry about it. I got it. And my girl got it. Anybody step crazy, we gonna handle that. That was basically what Maria said now. Now, what would you do in that situation? Would you be okay with Maria leaving, or you feel like it'd be too soon, or you feel like, look, go ahead?
It depends on where she was going.
Okay.
So if this is in the neighborhood that the gang activity is high,
yes,
absolutely not.
Okay.
If this is in a different part of the city, then yeah.
If it was in a different part of the city.
Yeah. So like, if the gang activity is high in downtown,
right,
and you're going to a suburban restaurant, then yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going downtown to your favorite club, no.
Yeah. So Michael wasn't wrong. Mike was.
He wasn't wrong for being cautious, but at the same time, it's not like he knew exactly where they were going to be.
Right.
He's like, just be careful. But at the same time, it's like if it's that bad, then there's really nowhere you can go.
Yeah.
That's safe.
Yeah.
That's kind of the entire point.
Right. And you're right. You're absolutely right. So now, fast forward after the promise Maria has given Mike. Now, obviously, we got a conversation that's going on between Maria and Brenda. They seem like they're coming out of a store. It's later on in the nighttime now. Now, this is where Brenda asks Maria about their unborn child. About if it was going to be a girl or a boy. Brenda did not know. Michael did not even know. He just knew that Maria was pregnant. And it came down to where she was actually going to let Michael know that he was about to have a boy because Michael wanted a boy. And they're having a good time. Maria's having a good time. She's like, okay, I'm about to give Michael a call, let him know that not to worry, I'm on my way home, we good. You know what I mean? And before you know it, the BS didn't happen. Then you got an HK gang member that literally holds them up. Like, drop everything. Y'all know what it is. And obviously, Brenda and Maria, they both stop in their tracks. Maria, she got the look where if you obviously see in the panels where Maria she on guard in a way. Where Brenda, she's scared. Like, she like, oh, snap. So You can tell that which one is used to, that's been in this danger, and which one hasn't. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where that comes into play. And then obviously they weren't stupid about it. They weren't dumb about it. When dude said, "Give me all y'all stuff," what they do? They handed him their things, right? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's like, at the end of the day, so yeah, so it really just come down to where with that whole situation. Again, they weren't dumb. They gave them all of their things, but the problem was, once they were done, they did say, "Okay, you can leave," right? But the dude, the HK gang member, was like, "Nah, I want more than that." He got greedy and he started to grab on Brenda, saying, "I want to take you home. I want you." And obviously, as a friend, you know, with this whole thing, Brenda, she's scared. She's completely terrified. Now, as a friend, it's one of them situations where, now, what do we do here? What happens? Turn out, once Brenda started getting felt on and dude was talking about some, "Okay, I'm gonna take you home so you can show me a good time." You know what I mean? What happened? As soon as Maria jumped in, which a soldier would, as soon as she jumped in and said, "Stop it," gone. You know what I'm saying? As soon as she said, "Stop."
That was like such a serious moment.
I mean, it was a very serious moment. It was a very serious moment. You know what I mean? It was. And as soon as Maria got shot, she got hit 2 times. Don't get me wrong, those shots was more than 2 times. But y'all get the idea. You know what I mean? And the HK gang member, he ran. He said, "Damn." It's not, so don't get me wrong, it's not a laughing matter in that situation, but I mean, like I said, you got to be realistic about certain situations like this, man, where what? You know, she on the ground, Brenda on the phone, flipping out. You know what I'm saying? Dude bounced. He left. He ran with the bag and everything. He like just left. So my question to you is, though, what should Maria have done in that situation?
I don't think Maria did anything wrong for trying to defend her friend, but he's holding you at gunpoint. You know what I mean? She should have at least tried to disarm him before she just jumped in front of her. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So many different de-escalation techniques she could have used.
You said it was so many de-escalation techniques?
Yeah, like,
well, to truth be told, I mean, but she did though. She kind of did.
Not really. I mean, yeah. But
look, she cooperated.
That was when they just handed over, the money.
They cooperated though. They didn't fight back. They didn't get on no aggressive stuff. You know what I'm saying?
But when it gets to the point where cooperation is not an option, that's when you need to look. She's not leaving with you. You need to figure out something else.
You need to figure out something else.
Yeah, go find somebody else.
You gonna say that? Go find somebody.
Not else. Like forcibly. I'm just saying, find somebody who wants your attention.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's crazy. You know, now, like you said, Maria wasn't in the wrong for basically jumping on dude. Like, get your hands off of my girl. Get your hands off my friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you have to ask yourself, what in the world is Mike going to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we won't know until the next page, until the next episode, right? So, again, if you have your opinion on this episode, what do you think could have happened or should have happened within the first 5 pages of Night Reaper Origins? How do you feel? Tell us in the comments. Let us know exactly what you think. If you have not read Night Reaper Origins yet, I advise you to go on the website. You can either get the digital or the physical copy. That way you guys can catch up and know exactly what's going on in the story going forward, so no one gets confused. But for those who have purchased the story and have read the story, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I want to say thank you guys again for doing that. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to make things happen. We are going to expand on more and introduce more characters to you guys in a more broader and a bigger universe in the Phenomverse of Phenom Comics. So again, these are the first 5 episodes. We will continue to talk about the Night Reaper Origins, five pages going forward. 5 pages each episode till we get to the end to discuss everything that is Night Reaper Origins, and we will continue to do so. So again, like, subscribe, and share. I'm your boy Mike Otis, CEO and founder of Phenom Comics, alongside with my co-host Gabee O, my co-assistant, co-creator, as a matter of fact, creative assistant. You know what I mean? But anyway, y'all have yourselves a good one. I'm gonna holler at y'all soon. Will holler at y'all soon. Y'all have yourselves a good one. All right. Salute. Peace.